Chris Brewin says, with the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife and the videos you've shared, he went back and did some touch-ups and upgrades to his proton pack. Along the way, he said he found he wasn't being too precious about the main flat black paint jobs, knowing that Egon wasn't a professional painter of industrial equipment. Now, that's exactly the kind of thinking that I love to put into my prop builds. That is, yes, what would the character that built this have done? Are there any builds, he asks, where you would have used a particular technique, but instead chose to use a different technique because that's how the character would have made it? Yes, actually. To be totally clear, on this build, I'm going to make a couple of small modifications because there isn't just one of these in Aliens. There's several. And that would, if you had several pieces of issued equipment, they would all have minor differences. And I don't have an issue doing an in-universe small change device to device. But probably the space in which that really specifically happened in my head was building my R2-D2. So a group of us at Industrial Light and Magic who all worked with R2 were taking some measurements off of it and decided that we wanted to make our own. And we were this secret cadre called the Romeo Delta Group, RD, right? Romeo Delta. It's the military call sign. And I was the first of us to finish, and I did it during a 2-week break on Mythbusters, early on, in season 3, I think. So that would be like 05, 04. And I was racing to finish it because I had a lot of little things. An R2-D2 build is nothing but a laundry list of just endless tasks to take care of. And I was barreling through it. And I had, a couple of years before, made a full set of molds of R2-D2, and not silicone molds, hard fiberglass molds. So you had to wax them and release them and wax them again and do all this stuff in order to get casting hard fiberglass in hard fiberglass is an unforgiving nightmare where the cost of any failure is complete catastrophe. So it requires incredible rigor. And along that, when I was making all the molds for the R2, I also had made a silicone mold of the R2's underplate, his skirt. So at the bottom of R2's barrel is this little tapered skirt with little gussets around it. And I think that my friend John Duncan had built a master of this, and then I had made a silicone mold. And so here I am at M7 trying to finish, and it's time to put the skirt on, and I know there's a silicone mold around, and I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. It's not in storage. No one has seen it. No one knows where it is. And I'm like, geez, crow, I'm almost done with my R2. Why can't I? Ooh, my hearing aid battery just crapped out. Why can't I find the skirt? And then I realized it's not that complicated. It's a riser with an angled border and pieces around it. I should just build it. I could scratch build it faster than I could make one and make a mold of one. And then I was also thinking, well, it's not going to be perfect. And even when I'm going to weather something, I frequently want the construction to be really, really tight and perfect. But as I was making this skirt and worrying that it wasn't perfect enough, I remembered what it's like to work on the original R2-D2. And when I say the original R2-D2, I don't mean the fiberglass ones from Empire that Tony Dyson built. I mean the aluminum ones that were built for Star Wars. I worked on 2 of those puppies, and they are brazed together out of soft aluminum built by, I think, Norak Engineering, built by some aerospace engineers. And they are like pieces of jewelry. The original R2-D2s are just some of the most beautiful construction I have ever seen. And they're beat to hell. They're beat up. They have dents everywhere, scratches everywhere. And I was like, why am I being so precious about my R2 when this thing looks like someone mugged it with a hammer? So I stopped being precious in that moment because R2 is not a clean robot. He's an in-universe working robot. And I did the same with mine. And when I finally finished it, I did actually one of the original R2 heads has this clear ball peen hammer ding in the head. And I remember putting a piece of leather on it and whacking the head to get that hammer ding. Hammer ding. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.